Oh, Sylvanese is coming. Sylvanese is coming. Welcome back, everyone. Last time on How I Roll, the cultists of Sylvanese were in a fight with Indirial and Silence. Silence and Indirial were able to strike one down. However, the rogue figure who seemed to be leading the cultists almost killed both of them. They were saved by the bell, as it were, when he was distracted, realizing that the golem that had been smashing through the bakery finally reached through the entire building and discovered some sort of entrance in the mountain. He left the fight, rolling away. There was a small clink of metal falling as he went away. He then bid a victorious farewell and dove into the entrance. Timnin, the city guard, awoke from the stupor and whatever enchantment was upon him that had led him to bring the golem here. And our heroines were really needing some healing. They were both, I think they were both at like 1 HP. Looks like Indirial actually had 2. Silence only had 1. So Silence freakishly needs healing. Indirial was pretty darn close in going against cultists that could do more than 1 damage. She was at risk. All right. So with that, that's the setting of the scene, and we shall now begin. Indirial is looking around and saying, "Help! Is there a doctor around?" So I'm going to roll to see a quick yes or no answer of, is there a doctor just in this crowd? It's possible. Doctors like sweets also. 3. No, there is no doctor. Okay, so Silence is laying there, gravely wounded. There's no doctor quickly available. So Indirial yells at Timnin, "You there! Go fetch a doctor!" And he's like, "But what get a doctor now, it doesn't matter what happened, she is in dire need of healing." He's like, "Right." So he starts running off up the street the same direction they came, which is more or less the direction of the city armory. As he goes, there's actually a clanking of metal, and several town guards come running down the hill. At the head of them is... Oh, no. Jeez. All of that was to Anton. Anton was the guy who had the golem. Timnin was the guy who took the prisoner back to the armory. So at the head of a bunch of city guards is Timnin. Eventually I'll learn my own characters' names. And they come running down the hill. Anton runs up to them, gives a quick, hurried discussion. I'm going to have it, let's see if there was a medic or something that came with them. 12. Yes, but... Ooh, okay. Yes, there is a medic, but what is the difficulty with that? What would cause... Yes, but... Yes, there is a medic, but as they run over and crouch down and look at Silence and at Indirial, the medic says, "Ooh, this is a lot worse than I can handle here. We'd best get you back up to the armory." And Indirial says, are you sure?" And the medic looks at her and says, "Yes, I'm sure. I do know what I'm doing. Come on, let's go." And as she's wearily standing up, Indirial says, "He went that way. The criminal who did this ran into the bakery, or the hole in the back of the bakery. Can you stop him?" And as they begin, let's see, it said several guards. How many guards do we have? I'm going to say a D8 plus 4 guards. Ooh, 7. So there are 11 guards. 1 medic. Okay, so there's going to be 2 of them who are helping carry Silence. 1 is going to be helping Indirial, and the medic is going to be kind of going along with them, trying to at least keep an eye on the wounds. And, she's definitely, like, instructing, "Hold it here. No, hold it there." Things like that. And, it's like, "Are you okay? Are you all right?" Then, I forget if I rolled a perception check on that tink of sound. So I'm going to say, does Silence see this at advantage? She's wisdom. She's high on perception. And I like the closed questions oracle, so I'm going to roll on that. 8, 16. Yeah, she definitely sees it. So then, as they're walking over these cobblestones, Silence's head kind of rolls, and then she looks down and she sees something metallic, and she remembers that there was a sound as the rogue rolled away from the fight. So she's gonna try to like reach down. She's almost gonna like roll over in the arms of these guards who are like struggling to hold her, and the medic is like, "No, no, now, dearie, don't fuss yourself." She's like, "I need that." And the medic looks down and is like, "What? Here, this? All right, here you go." She pushes it into Silence's hands, and then they all continue walking. Silence kind of, is like she's being carried more or less lengthwise, and she's going to like look down at her hands, and she sees. Let me find the document. A small charm that's shaped like a dagger, but on one side of the blade there are two little rectangular cuts, making it look a lot more like a key. And so she takes that and hangs on to it. Then let's see, remaining 8 guards set up a perimeter around the bakery and then begin moving in. The crowd is telling them, "Oh my gosh, it was horrible. There was, there's so many." And they're like, "How many were there?" And they're like, "There was only one. It was one man in a gray cloak." And they're like, "All right, stand back, everyone. We're going in." And they move in. However, our characters are being led away. So, a few minutes later, they arrive at the town armory, city guard armory, and the medic has them brought in to the infirmary for the guards, and she immediately begins working and like bandaging Silence's wound, giving her medicine that they have. She's working with Endurial too. Silence was definitely worse off, but they're both in pretty bad shape. So she is working to heal them. Let me look at how healing works in KNAVE. I've not needed to use that yet. Or else done healing. After a meal and a full night's rest, PCs regain lost hit points equal to a D8 plus their constitution bonus. Resting at a safe haven restores all lost HP. So they would need to stay there the whole night to get the advantage of full healing. Which they would. I would definitely call the armory a safe haven. D8 plus their constitution bonus. How would that work for them? Endurial has a 3 bonus. Silence has a 2 bonus. Full night's rest. Well, I'm going to see if either of these ladies are the type to try to rush out. I'm going to see if either of these ladies are the type to rush out, even though they're literally being healed. I'm going to roll for Endurial first. I'm going to call it unlikely. She's a wizard. Wizards know enough. Well, sorceress. And they tend to be squishy, and therefore know that they are squishy. That's cocked. So that's a 5 for her. No. Endurial's not going to. And this is Silence. I honestly don't know. Let's see what Silence would do. 19. And I was thinking, the same question. Would she leave? 19, yes. Okay. So I'm going to... So it's D8 plus her con bonus. I'm going to make it like a D4 plus her con bonus to see how much she heals from a quick patch up. And it wasn't a super quick patch up. It was a patch up. 3 plus 2, that's 5. That brings her to 5 of 8 HP. She's going to, after laying there for a little bit, start pushing herself up and trying to go. And Endurial is like, "Silence!" And the medic is, hey, what you doing? She's like, "Well, I need to go figure out what's going on. I mean, we went through all that and then, just got carried away. I want to know what happened." And Endurial and the medic both say, "You are in no condition to be doing anything like that. We just healed you." I'm going to have Silence roll a charisma roll to try to get past them. That's a 2. That's a total of 4. So the medic actually calls in 2 guards to stand at the door and not let her get out. Then a little bit later, the silence is almost sulking on the table. Who was the lieutenant? I think that was in session 4. Yeah, Thori, I believe, comes in and is just like, "What happened out there? I heard Breed is dead." So Duriel starts explaining everything, that they were all going out to look for Brida's golem and got into a big fight over it. And Thori's furious. He's like, "Well, I hope to see the man who killed her suffer." And Enduriel's like, "Well, he's the only one left. I feel like 8 guards against him should be able to do something." And he's like, "You think? I'm sure. Well, you said you almost took him out with just the 2 of you, right?" Silence, like, sits up a little straighter and gets a little bit of a grin because she was doing, decent shooting. She's like, "Uh-huh." He's like, "Well, then, yeah, 8 of my guards should do fine." And Duriel sits back down and, like, kind of rubs her temple with her hand and says, yes, your guards. Are they better at fighting than thinking through things, like, checking out paperwork?" He kind of looks at her and is like, "Be careful what you say. After all, it was my god that saved you." And Duriel goes a little silent, because that is accurate. So, we will be moving forward in time. I want to see if any guards come back this night. I'm going to call it unlikely. 18. Yes. Okay. Have they apprehended the roguelike gentleman cultist who has injured our friends and also stabbed Brita? Oh, wait. No. Oh, shoot. It was I feel like it was a 9 and a 6 or something, but I also picked it up too fast. It's like, yeah, that's an answer. Pick it up. Okay. I am... Part of me was like, I'm going to call it likely because, again, 8 guards against 1 person. But we also don't know what's in that cave. So I'm going to say I don't know if they're able to bring him back and or what may have stopped them. So, D20, do the guards bring him back dead or alive? Just did they get him? 13. Yes, but only 4 guards come back. A lot of them have slight wounds on them. The rogue has like a maniacal grin on his face, and you see like little blue veins popping out of his skin. He's like, I knew it would work. Oh, Sylvanez is coming. Sylvanez is coming. And the captain, or Lieutenant Thori, who I probably messed up the voice on, is like, "What happened here?" And one of the guards is like, "Sir, he was far stronger than he had any right to be. He had gotten into... There's some sort of structure down there, maybe a temple. And he was inside, and he came out, and he was fighting us left and right, and with his bare hands was, like, killing us and giving us wounds. It was something I've never seen before, sir." And then the rogue guy says, "And that is but a taste of what Sylvanez will unleash. Oh, yes. Only just a little longer. Then you will all see what can happen." With that mysterious and troubling statement, we are going to end today's episode. Thank you for being here. I hope you had a good time. I know today was a bit shorter. I had lots of stuff happen in personal life, so I had to shuffle and rearrange things differently than normal. So, trying to make sure that we still get an episode tonight. So, yeah, thanks for being here. If you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.